You probably talked about John a little bit yesterday, but maybe a little bit more about him and just all the depth you have in the secondary moving forward.
Well, whenever you lose a great player like John Boyett, it's always tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. He was a great player for us. Both on off the field, great example. I have a lot of respect for John. I'm sorry that things had to end the way they did for him. But I learned a long time ago that anybody that plays cards, if you're dealt a certain hand, you got to play with the hand you're dealt. You don't get to just throw them in. So I feel good. Last week we played without John, and we're going to be not as deep by losing a good player like John, but Dargan and Patterson and Jackson need to step up to the safety position.
What makes you confident in Patterson's ability to be a long-term starter?
Say that again.
What makes you confident in Patterson's ability to be a long-term starter?
He's a warrior. He just plays so hard. He has a passion for the game. He's very intelligent. I wish he was about 4 inches taller, but he does what he lacks in size. If I measured his heart, he'd be about 6'10". So the confidence I have in Avery is his heart, his passion, his intelligence, and just how tough he is, both mentally and physically.
What about from a leadership standpoint, losing John on the field? Is there someone out of that group who can step up as a leader locally?
Well, somebody's going to have to. Hopefully it is a guy like Avery or Brian Jackson or Efo. Somebody has to step up and be the leader there. Fortunately, we have a lot of leaders on our defense, and I look to Michael Clay and Taylor Hart and Deion Jordan, to name a few. We have some pretty good leaders on our defensive team. It's hard to lead sometimes when you first jump into the starting role because you don't want to overstep your bounds, but I think Avery is up to the task.
Deion Jordan was saying that John was so great at recognizing plays before they happened because he watched so much film and he could hear him in the back calling out things and he'd be right most of the time. How much does it hurt to lose that?
Well, obviously, if you have a guy that's a headsy ball player, Aaron, you can't replace intelligence with a guy that's been a 3-year starter. But we have to, and therefore, it's partly our job. Great part of our job, and another part of it is their job to get up to speed, to know the stuff as well as John. The bottom line is, we don't have John. Okay, so we need to move on. We'll answer all the John questions today with all due respect to John, who I recruited and who I love. But somebody else has to step up.
He's going to come back, though. He's going to help out the team, though, later on, right?
I think he plans on coming back and being on the sideline and helping the younger guys. And, kind of like be as much as he can, a player coach.
The first game, a lot of the backups didn't perform very well. You were pleased with that. Last game, maybe the third and fourth guys didn't play as much because it was kind of a tight game. Do you expect those third and fourth guys this week, assuming you get a big lead, assuming they play, to play with a little bit more attention to detail that you might prefer?
I like you, Aaron. Okay, so with all due respect, I don't think you give out a game like that. Okay, and I don't like any thinking like that. Okay, respect all, fear none. Everybody out there is thinking, okay, this team from this conference. No, we don't think like that. We go back to we have a standard by which we live, which we believe in, that we have to live up to. We play a faceless opponent, and I'm just thinking about getting better. We're going to watch the film today, and then get better tomorrow, and we'll see what happens then.
What are some of those things that you want to get better at this week?
Well, I always want to get better at covering guys, tackling, stopping the run, rushing the passer. It's only been 2 games, so we got a lot of work to do. We're 2-0. We're happy about that. But we got a lot of work to do before we haven't arrived. I don't know if you ever arrive, but we are running the ball. We are playing hard. I'd like to get more turnovers. We're causing the ball to come out, but we didn't get many. We didn't get any last week.
Tennessee Tech. They reportedly call their offense the fastest 16 minutes of football, whatever. They didn't run a lot of no-huddle stuff, kind of like you guys did.
Yeah, yes, they do. And they've had 500 yards in the first 2 games, so they got a veteran quarterback who's good, who could scramble, and extend plays. He really is. He's a good player. They got a receiver from Tennessee that transferred. He was a starter at Tennessee. That's a good player, and I like their running back. So they have a smart quarterback. They have some weapons. They'll play fast. Their offense is like the last two offenses we played, and a lot like our offense. So I don't expect the tempo to be a problem because you're used to seeing that. But they do have some good players, and I hope that we understand that. I mean, whenever you get an opportunity to play, you play the best of your ability, put your best foot forward, and we come out and play like I think we're capable of.
And they're not scared of playing big-time programs. They played Iowa last year, they played Arkansas a couple years ago. And have you watched those films? You see how they've stood up to that type of
I watched the Iowa game. I watched the Iowa game, but mostly I watched the games they played this year. They're obviously used to playing big schools or bigger schools. I don't think they're afraid of anything. I think they're coming in here, kind of a gunslinger, and let's take it on. So I can't control their mindset, but hopefully we can control ours.
Do you think these teams are kind of more, sometimes these teams can be more dangerous coming into these games with nothing to lose, like Tennessee Tech?
Yeah, to a certain degree, I think you're right. Yeah, I'd be lying to you, but I mean, everybody out there expects this certain thing to happen. They have no expectations except for to get better and play well. So there's really there's no pressure on them. I'm not saying there's pressure on us, but there's no pressure on them. So they might let it hang loose. They might go for it on fourth down every time. Who knows what they're going to do? Tricks, gadgets. Yeah, I agree with you.
Do you use the Savannah State upset of Arkansas with the guys' motivation, saying, "Hey, you overlook a team like that, and they can come in and beat you"?
We talk a little bit about that, but mostly we just talk about us. So our guys know what we expect of them to do, and hopefully we do it. I mean, I know I'm answering the same way every time, but that's what we talk about. I don't talk about the other people. Obviously I tell them who they have. I show them film. I mean, we're not that crazy, but we just talk about us. What do we